Hi, I'm Tara Barnes, health educator for CalFresh Healthy Living and the Children's Collective, and welcome to our final Healthy Happy Families preschool curriculum lesson. We are on lesson 8, and that topic is trying new foods, where I will give you tips on ways that you can introduce new foods to your preschoolers. We will go ahead and get started, and we will resume now. So to recap lesson 7, which was enjoying family meals, parents learned about the importance of having family meals. They also learned ways to have family meals that would contribute to their child's growth and development. And there was also an at-home activity called Plan a Family Picnic, where you would, allow your child to paint or draw a basket. They would attach cutouts of fruits and vegetables on there. The idea would be to lead that into an actual picnic, whether it was in the home, on your living room floor, in your backyard, or even going to an actual park for a picnic. But the whole idea was just to create a fun family meal for a picnic together. So as always, we include my plate in our presentations, just as a reminder to make half your plates fruits and vegetables, make half the grains you eat whole grains, include protein in your diet, as well as dairy or alternative non-dairy items that are calcium fortified. You can go to calfreshhealthyliving.org for more information or choose myplate.gov. So the objective for today's lesson are that parents will learn ways they can help their children try new foods. Getting children to try new foods can be difficult for parents. A lot of kids are, kind of picky, especially when they're very young and have been exposed to a variety of foods at that moment. Their taste buds are different than adults, not as I guess savvy as an adult as adults taste buds are, so they can be kind of picky when it comes to trying new foods. However, there are ways that you can work with them to change their acceptance of food over time. So it is normal for young children to resist trying new foods. In fact, this is common with more than just food. Young children like it best when their world is predictable, so this helps them to feel safe and in control. Young children may have a hard time accepting changes. They typically prefer things that are familiar, like routines, toys, people, and food. The best way for parents to introduce change is to allow time to adjust. So, not just rushing in and expecting them um, to like a new food or to accept it. It's going to take some time with a particular item, with particular food items, before your child actually accepts them. So with items like food, toys, or animals, children may need to become comfortable just seeing the object or seeing the food first before they will even touch it. So introduce it to them slowly. Don't expect them to like the food right off the bat. It may take multiple tries. And that leads to this slide in which we share how children may need to see a food as many as 15 times before they would even touch it or put it in their mouth. So you can see that 15 times is quite a bit, but the more you expose them to those foods, that increases the likelihood that over time they will actually either like the food or at least try it. Like they'll actually put it in their mouths. Labeling and talking about the new item can also help children become familiar with it. So by talking about the foods, having it available, having, you know, certain fruits, on the dining room table in a bowl, even if they don't like it, just having it available, talking about it, maybe they're seeing you eat those things, that can help increase their chances of actually eating that food as well. It's important to enjoy a variety of foods every day. Sometimes when children reject a new food, parents think their child, they don't like it, they don't either like it, or the parents, and therefore the parents won't serve it again. However, just like learning other things, children learn to like new foods by seeing those around them eating and enjoying them. So like I just mentioned, if you have fresh fruits and vegetables, around that's readily available, or even water, and your kids are watching you or see you drinking water um, often, or see you, eating a peach from the bowl of fruit that you may have, that encourages them to want to try those foods as well. Parents can also help their children learn to enjoy a variety of foods by eating a variety of foods themselves. So, you being the role model, like I just mentioned, serving a variety of foods at meals and snacks, um, and by getting children involved in preparing foods also helps to expose them to those food items and increases their chances of actually consuming those foods. Children are more open to trying new foods when they can explore them first. So give them opportunities to smell, touch, look at, explore the food before they eat and put it in their mouths. When they're able to make choices themselves, so not always making a choice for them that they have to eat this particular fruit or this particular vegetable, but maybe if you have a couple of selections, a couple of choices for them to choose from, that also helps to increase the likelihood of them eating it. So again, making them or providing them with the ability to make choices for themselves, allowing them to try the foods when they are ready and not forced. So you want your child to have a positive experience with food. And so therefore, when they're not forced to eat certain things and they're able to actually try it when they're ready, that helps them to be able to make that choice themselves. And it also could, help them to actually enjoy the food more because they chose it for themselves and they chose to eat it when they were ready to eat it. Children are also more open to trying new foods when the foods can fit into their routines. So making sure that, you know, if it's during snack time, that you have, if it's, fruits that you're serving during snack time, make sure that it's available to them, that they're, easy for them to actually hold, that they're, need be maybe sliced in certain ways so that it's easier for them to even fit it in their mouths and for them to explore it. So try to fit try to fit, uh, foods in their routine so that way they have opportunities to explore it. And also, when children can see the new foods being served with familiar ones, that also helps to increase the likelihood that they will eat it. So, if you put broccoli, which I say broccoli, I hate to give broccoli the the label that that's the one of the main vegetables that kids tend to avoid or choose to not like that much. But if they like corn, which is usually pretty popular, if they like corn and more so than broccoli, but you have them both presented on their plates, that could increase the likelihood of them maybe trying the broccoli. So at least having it there available for them. They're familiar with the corn and maybe other items on their plate, but with the broccoli, they may like it in combination with other things that are on their plate at that time. So I would like for you to think back to your own childhood and remember a food that you didn't like, that now you find that you really like, that you actually eat. And I'm sure most of us have some kind of food or several types of food or particular food items that we did not like as kids and that we now consume. And I want you to name the foods you learned to like, but also how did you learn to like them? So this is a great way for you to just think about your own child. Like you yourself as a child probably had the same situation for yourself where there were foods that you were either forced to eat or you were exposed to and you didn't like. And so just think about how you would have felt had your parents, forced you to eat those things, or if they actually did force you to eat those things. How did that make you feel? But also, how did you learn to like a particular food if there was something that you didn't like, but now as an adult or just as you got older, you started to like them? I can share that I didn't like Brussels sprouts growing up as a kid, and we really didn't have them at home. But when I had them, I never did care for them at all. I didn't like the smell of them. I didn't like the taste. I didn't like the texture. But as I became an adult and I was exposed to them at a family or at a family's home, the way that they were prepared just changed my whole outlook on Brussels sprouts. And so I learned how to make them the way that I had tried them at that time. And ever since then, they've been one of my favorite vegetables. So again, I didn't like them as a kid, but now I like them as an adult. And so that way, the way that I learned to like them was by actually having them, they were prepared in a different way than what I was used to having as a child. So all of us have learned to like the foods that we eat, and children are the same way. They are learning to like new foods. And so parents can help children learn to enjoy new foods like fruits and vegetables. So you as a parent, that's your role to expose your kids to fruits and vegetables. Usually vegetables, I would say, are usually the least liked out of the two. I think it's because they're just, they're savory and not sweet. Usually kids like sweet, juicy fruits. So, you may have to expose them. It's, they're around you probably the most. So when they see you eating fruits and vegetables and you sharing that with them, that just helps to expose them more and make them feel more comfortable with even trying or accepting those new fruits and vegetables. Children learn best when they can see things, hear things, and do things many times. So this quiz question asks you, how many times do some children need to see a new food before they will try it? Is it 12 times, 5 times, 15 times, 8 times, or none of the above? And that answer is 15. That sounds like a lot, and actually it is, but it takes about 15 times for children to actually accept the food if they've been resistant to it. So don't give up. It may even be more than 15 times, but that's kind of the average, about 15 times that it will take for a child to accept a new food. Another true or false is parents should serve a variety of foods at meal and snack times and get children involved in preparing foods. And that is true. Having a variety of foods is which is beneficial to our overall, or it's beneficial to our nutrition, to our health in general, as you're getting a variety of nutrients and vitamins from various foods. It also just helps to allow your child to see that there are a variety of choices that they can have. And there may be some things that they don't like, but other things that they do like. So by having them have a variety of choices or variety of meals, just helps to expand their acceptance of a variety of foods. Also having them involved in the preparation of foods, like we've discussed for several of our lessons, is really a wonderful lifelong skill for kids to develop um, cooking skills early on. And of course, as they get older, they become more masterful in them. They become skilled in those activities or tasks. And so they're able to, prepare their own meals when they, get a certain age. They can probably make their own sandwiches and make their own, slice their own, bananas, all of that, because they've been exposed to that early on and they've gotten the training uh, in order to be able to do those things independently. Another quick quiz question. I put true or false on here twice, and I'm just now seeing it. um, True or false, it is not normal for young children to resist trying new foods. And that is false. It is actually normal for kids to resist trying new foods. Again, like I said, it takes about 15 times for them to actually like a new food. So for the parent edition that I hope that you guys have been able to look at, I think we've attached it to our presentations from the list in your parent edition of things that you can do for this particular lesson on trying new foods, on the right side here, you can see things that you can do. And the idea is just to circle or check off the ideas that you are interested in trying. So when you do that, how is that different from what you're currently doing? What would you need to tell the other adults in your family about this new idea, or this thing that you're doing, this change? And what questions do you think that they will have? How will you answer them if your family members ask you questions about why you're doing these things with your child? So the things you can do is to let them choose. Don't force your children to eat new foods until they're ready. Plan ahead. Introduce new foods when children are most hungry. That increases the chance, the likelihood that they'll probably eat it if they're hungry. Be creative. Add vegetables to stews, rice, and pasta dishes. Foods like spinach, broccoli, other, particular vegetables, and for the most part, can be disguised in popular dishes, say like mac and cheese. Like if you make a healthy mac and cheese, then you can chop up some broccoli or spinach and mix it in and make it more of like a blended macaroni and cheese. So they are eating those vegetables that are hidden inside. So that's a good way to be creative when you're preparing foods that you want your kids to eat more of. Get children involved. Let them choose healthy new foods at the store. We've talked about that several times as well. It's really a fun activity for kids to be at the grocery store, helping to select healthy food items. They feel like adults themselves, and it's just fun for them overall. It's a great conversation activity for kids. They're learning about all different types of not only foods, but just where we could just talk about food. It's a whole discussion where our produce comes from, what type of produce do our stores have, what type of other healthy items do you like to buy as a family. So your kids are involved in all of that when they go to the grocery store. So if you allow them to help you pick out fruits and vegetables, that increases the likelihood that they were going to eat those foods. Also cook together. Let your children taste food as you go so they can taste, just how the meal is coming together. Again, just a reminder to use a new spoon each time. Also be a good example. Children want to eat what they see you eating. So if you are, spitting food out and saying yuck to things, and they may do the same thing. So you want to be a good example and, encourage them that when you're eating something good, you can even kind of exaggerate a little bit. Oh, this is so delicious. I just love this banana. Like, it's so, so good. So even if you did that, that could help increase your child's interest in wanting to try that particular food. And don't give up. Some children need to be served a new food again 15 times before they will even try it. So just like adults, there's, you don't like to be forced to eat something that you don't really like, or if you, you know, who likes that? No one likes to be forced to do or eat something that they don't like. And it's important that we respect kids in that sense as well. They should have a right to not want to eat certain foods if they don't like it. Just because you like it doesn't mean that they will. However, if they see you trying it and eating certain things, that will increase the likelihood that they will try it. But that still doesn't mean that they'll actually like it and would want to eat it again. But again, we need to respect children just as we do ourselves and other adults, that they too may not like everything you put in front of them. So be patient. When it comes to exploring new foods, letting children explore new foods when they are ready makes trying new foods less scary for them, as they're more familiar with the food that you want them to try. It can help when new foods appeal to children's senses. So having foods cut into fun shapes, having them in nice vibrant colors or a variety of colors and nice smells and just smells that are attractive to them can help appeal to them and help to, make a child be more interested in wanting to try a new food item. By helping children explore, they learn about textures so that you can have them, touch fuzzy kiwis or mushy avocados. They develop a sense of their taste by tasting, you know, maybe sour apples or sweet melons, or maybe some sort of bitter type of fruit or vegetable. When foods are presented to them in a variety of colors, like red peppers and purple beets, they're able to try those things. And sounds, kids may like the way certain foods sound when they bite it, like crunchy celery or jicama or soft peas, or even crunchy peas if they're like snow peas. So some kids may actually enjoy crunchy foods just because of the way that they sound. So here's an at-home activity. As always, we like to include these in our classes. So that gives you something to do with you and your little one. And this activity is called Make a Seed Collection, where you can encourage your children to try new foods by making a seed collection from the foods that they taste. So for this activity, you will need old magazines and blank pieces of paper, some scissors, glue, and some fruits and vegetables of your choice, preferably ones that have seeds. So help your children cut out pictures of fruits and vegetables from magazines and then glue those onto paper. You can try these foods together and then save the seeds, and then you'll allow your child to help, or you can help your child to glue the seeds onto the pictures that they glued on the paper, and then simply display the collection in a place where your child can see, whether it's on the refrigerator or in the hallway, along the wall, on their bedroom door, anywhere around the house where they can see their activity. And praise their efforts. When you see that they're trying something new or they show some interest in trying a new food, give them verbal praise. Or maybe, if they try a new vegetable for the week or a new fruit, they may get a special treat or something, a special activity they can do as a reward. But again, we try to avoid rewarding with food. So try to reward your child with verbal praise. Or even an activity that we did previously where they can, pull an activity out of the activity box, and then that could be their reward for trying a new vegetable or fruit. So we are now at the end of our lesson for lesson 8, our final class. I am now going to lead us in our last physical activity segment. Again, physical activity is really important for both children and adults, and we should get at least 150 minutes, or for adults, of moderate to vigorous physical activity a week. Children should get at least 60 minutes of physical activity a day, since they're growing and developing rapidly. So it's always important to incorporate some sort of physical activity if you can. And because we've been sitting, we're going to do a couple, or actually a few, seated, and there will be one standing activity that I'm going to demonstrate. I'm not going to spin the wheel because it sometimes gives me a hard time, so I'll just show you what these moves look like. So for the extended leg raises, which is in the pink, I'm going to roll my chair back. And you can see my legs, so they just lift up. And I have them both up. So you will have them both up. And then you would. It's kind of hard to see. I don't think I can show you from here. And you roll it up, up, up. So that may be easier for you to do. It's up, up on both sides. The next one is seated calf raises. Again, I'm seated and I'm just lifting my calves up. I'm putting my toe or pointing my toes down, lifting my heels. And go down, lift up and down. And that just tightens up the calf. And then our modified squats. I'm going to use my chair. And I'm going to place my hand on the back of the chair. This chair has rollers on it, so be careful. This is a modified chair squat, or modified squat, sorry. So we will pretend that that was 12. So those are modified really because I didn't do all 12, but I do hope that you got the gist of what I was trying to do. It's kind of awkward because I'm in on a rolling chair in a kind of a tight space. So hopefully you were able to get a good idea of what I was trying to do. So we did that. So we're now at the end of our lesson. As always, we provide the Injustice for All discrimination complaint form. If you need to access that document at the information listed here on the left side of the slide. And with that, this concludes our full lesson, our full curriculum of the Healthy Happy Families preschool curriculum. I hope you were able to find all the information that we covered over the past several weeks beneficial for you and your preschoolers. I highly encourage you to visit CalFresh HealthyLiving.org to get more information, as well as tcciwellness.com for a lot of tips and recipes and just some good resources for families. It's really important that with our preschoolers that we take the time to really be patient with them because they're learning. None of us learn right away. So with preschoolers, you have to be patient. You have to give them time for trial and error. You have to give them time to try new things, and things are going to be testing for you and for your child. But the more you allow them to practice and the more you communicate with them and are there to support them through their growth and development, the better they are to excel, and they will, grow and develop in a healthy way. And so with that, I do thank you for being a part of these lessons. If you feel the need to want to rewatch these, please do. And thank you for your time.